You might think your health is slipping because of age, but the real reason might be a hidden breakdown happening inside your body right now. In the next few minutes, you'll discover a surprising link that could change everything about how you feel. There comes a moment in life, often around our 40s or 50s, when things that once felt normal begin to shift. A good night of sleep becomes rare. Digestion doesn't seem as effortless as before. That clear-headed energy you once took for granted now requires more coffee, more effort, and still, it's not quite the same. Most people chalk it up to age. They think this is just how it goes. But what if it isn't? What if I told you that much of this discomfort, this slow fog settling over your body and mind, begins with a hidden disconnection, a subtle breakdown in a vital internal conversation happening inside you every single day? One that links your brain, your gut, your immune system, and your hormones. And when that connection is disrupted, you don't just feel tired, you start to forget. You bloat. You gain weight even when you're eating less. You feel more anxious, more reactive, and you can't quite explain why. This is the midlife connection most people overlook. A complex but natural system of communication inside your body that gets weaker as years go by, especially if we follow the patterns of modern life. The good news, you can restore it. But before we talk about how, I want to be clear about something. The consequences of ignoring this issue don't just stop at feeling tired. They can build up quietly and trigger much deeper imbalances. And I'll share what that looks like at the end of this episode. Also, if you stay with me until the final part, I'll share a natural ingredient that can amplify your results when used properly. One that few people talk about, but could be a game changer for your health. That's your bonus for staying informed and for giving your body the attention it deserves. But now, let's look closer at what this connection really is. Your body is a network of intelligent systems that rely on each other. The brain and the gut, for example, are in constant communication. There's even a name for it, the gut-brain axis. It's not just metaphor. Your gut literally sends signals to your brain, and vice versa, using nerves, hormones, and even bacteria. These messages influence your mood, appetite, focus, immune defense, and even your sleep. However, as we age, several things begin to interfere with this communication. High stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, environmental toxins, overuse of medication, and more. These factors cause inflammation and reduce the diversity of your gut microbiome, the trillions of beneficial bacteria living inside you. When those microbes are out of balance, the messages between your gut and brain become distorted. The result? You feel foggy. You crave more sugar. Your metabolism slows. Your emotions fluctuate. And because these changes are gradual, they often go unnoticed. But the real danger is not just how you feel. It's what you begin to normalize. You start to believe it's normal to live with low energy, that it's okay to feel bloated all the time, that forgetting words mid-sentence is just part of getting older. But it's not. Those are signs. Signs that your internal systems aren't working in harmony. And like any good system, when one part fails, the rest start to compensate. That compensation creates stress, and over time, that stress breaks you down in ways that aren't immediately visible. What if you could recognize the signals early enough to prevent more serious outcomes? What if you could restore that internal dialogue before it leads to something bigger? The first step is awareness. And now that you know, you can't unknow it. That's why it's so important to pay close attention to what comes next. Because when it comes to natural health, even the smallest misstep, like the wrong dosage or a poorly timed habit, can reduce benefits, or worse, backfire. I want to help you avoid that. The next insight may challenge some of your daily choices, especially around food. But trust me, this could be the turning point in how you feel, sleep, and live. In fact, ignoring what comes next might be the very reason you're not getting the results you deserve, and could even make your symptoms worse. Let's fix that. Let's take a closer look at something that has become so normal, so familiar, that we barely question it anymore. The standard American diet. Fast, convenient, processed, and often loaded with hidden ingredients, this way of eating is silently shaping our health in ways most people don't realize. And if you've ever felt more tired after a meal or noticed that certain foods leave you bloated, foggy, or irritable, it might not be a coincidence. It might be the first sign of a deeper problem. The connection we spoke about earlier, the one between your gut, brain, and entire system, is especially vulnerable to what you eat. Food isn't just calories. It's information. Every bite sends a message to your body, to heal or to inflame, to restore or to disrupt. And here's where the real issue begins. Over time, the typical Western diet floods our system with inflammatory messages. Think of refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, seed oils like soybean or corn oil, excess sodium, preservatives, and additives with names we can barely pronounce. These substances are in nearly everything, from breakfast cereals to salad dressings, from frozen dinners to protein bars. The result? A body that lives in a state of low-grade inflammation. Not enough to send you to the emergency room, but just enough to interfere with how you feel. You wake up tired. Your joints ache more often. Your focus slips. Your skin breaks out. Your immune system weakens. You get mood swings that don't make sense. This isn't just aging, it's inflammation. And it starts with what you eat. But there's another, even more surprising twist. The gut microbiome, those billions of bacteria living inside you, are deeply affected by your food choices. They rely on natural fibers, fermented foods, and a variety of whole ingredients to thrive. But when they're constantly fed processed food, they shift. Harmful bacteria multiply. Beneficial ones die off. And as this balance collapses, you begin to feel it. In your digestion, your mental clarity, your energy, even in your cravings. Yes, your cravings are not random. Certain microbes feed on sugar and processed carbs. The more you eat, the more they grow. And the more they grow, the more they demand. It becomes a cycle that feels like willpower, but is actually biological hijacking. This is why some people feel powerless in front of a bag of chips or a plate of cookies. It's not weakness, it's chemistry. Now imagine this scenario playing out over years, decades. Layer by layer, meal after meal, snack after snack, the damage accumulates. You may still look healthy on the outside, but inside, the signals are breaking down. Hormones begin to misfire. Detox pathways become sluggish. Your liver gets overwhelmed. And your brain starts to struggle with what once felt simple. Remembering names, finding focus, feeling joy. Here's the part no one tells you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't have to cut out everything. But you do need to become conscious. Start reading labels. Swap inflammatory oils for extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Reduce your intake of added sugars. Choose more whole foods. Try to add fermented foods like sauerkraut or kefir. These small actions compound over time and begin to repair the very foundation of your health. The beauty is that your body wants to heal. It's wired for balance. The moment you begin removing what harms and introducing what nourishes, it responds. And often, it responds fast. Many people notice improvements in digestion, mood, and energy within just a few days of cleaning up their meals. But one warning, doing this blindly can be risky. Some so-called healthy swaps are heavily marketed but still processed. Some fermented foods on store shelves have added sugars or have been pasteurized, killing the very bacteria you need. That's why education is key. You need to know what to avoid, what to choose, and how to use it. The next discovery could completely shift the way you understand your body's signals and responses. And ignoring it won't just slow your progress, it could actually cause certain symptoms to get worse. We're about to explore something that affects nearly every system in your body, and that few people think to address. Don't miss it. By now, you may already be connecting the dots. What we eat influences our gut. Our gut influences our brain. But what happens when that communication becomes distorted over time? What if, without realizing it, you're not just dealing with isolated symptoms, but witnessing the early stages of a cascading effect throughout your body? This is what we call a biological domino effect, and it can begin with something as small as low microbial diversity in your gut. When your beneficial bacteria are reduced, either by poor food choices, stress, medications, or toxins, the lining of your gut may begin to weaken. This isn't just a digestion issue, it's systemic. A compromised gut lining becomes more permeable, a condition often referred to as leaky gut, allowing small particles to escape into the bloodstream that were never meant to be there. Your immune system sees those particles as intruders. It becomes hyperactive. And over time, this creates a state of chronic inflammation. Not the helpful, short-term inflammation you get from a cut or a cold, but a slow, constant burn. This is the kind of inflammation that often has no symptoms in the beginning, but inside your body, it begins to affect everything. Your joints, your skin, your energy levels, your ability to think clearly, and even your hormonal balance. This is where it gets even more interesting. Hormones play a critical role in your body's equilibrium. They regulate metabolism, mood, sleep, appetite, reproductive health, and more. But inflammation disrupts hormonal communication. For instance, cortisol, your main stress hormone, can become dysregulated. You might feel wired at night and tired in the morning, or gain weight, especially around the belly, despite eating well. Inflammation also affects insulin sensitivity. This is a crucial point. Many people in midlife begin to experience blood sugar imbalances without realizing it. These fluctuations can lead to cravings, irritability, and eventually insulin resistance, a major risk factor for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. All of it, potentially, traced back to an imbalance in the gut. And then there's the brain. Remember, the gut and brain are in constant conversation. Inflammation in the gut can directly influence neurotransmitter production. Most of your serotonin, the happy chemical, is produced in the gut. When the gut is inflamed, your mood often suffers. Brain fog, anxiety, and even symptoms resembling mild depression can become part of your daily life without a clear reason. Now imagine trying to tackle these issues one by one, in isolation. Trying a new sleep supplement, a new diet trend, or a fitness app, while your internal communication system remains broken. It would be like fixing a roof leak while the foundation is crumbling. You might slow the damage, but you won't solve the root issue. This is why so many people get stuck in cycles of trying things that don't seem to work. The core imbalance is never addressed, but now you know where to look. When you support your gut, you support the entire chain reaction of healing. That means you don't need to fight symptoms one by one. You begin to restore harmony at the source. The question is, how do we reverse the domino effect once it's in motion? The answer lies in making consistent, gentle shifts that reduce inflammation, rebuild your gut lining, and nourish your microbiome. It starts with what you remove and what you add. Hydration, fiber-rich vegetables, clean proteins, healthy fats, fermented foods, gentle movement, quality sleep, and stress reduction techniques like deep breathing or walking outdoors. All of these are signals. Positive signals that help your body shift out of defense mode and into repair. You might be surprised how quickly your body begins to respond. For some, digestion improves in days. For others, mental clarity returns after just a few nights of quality sleep. Energy stabilizes. And perhaps more importantly, you begin to feel a sense of agency again. The empowering belief that your body is not failing you. It's just been overwhelmed. And now, it's time to rebuild. Before you move on, remember this. The body is a unified system. Everything is connected. You can't isolate inflammation from mood or hormones from gut health. When you pull one string, the whole fabric responds. And if you want lasting change, you have to start where the pattern begins. What you're about to learn next is one of the most overlooked yet powerful strategies for interrupting this domino effect and helping your body regenerate at the root level. Missing this step won't just slow your progress, it might undo the benefits you've already started to gain and create new imbalances down the road. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your health is not adding something new, but removing what doesn't belong. We often search for the next superfood, supplement, or treatment, when in truth, healing often begins with subtraction. It's like clearing a blocked path before you start walking. And when it comes to gut health and inflammation, this approach is not only effective, it's essential. You see, your body is constantly trying to heal. It's scanning, adjusting, responding. but it can only repair what it's not constantly defending against. And that's where modern food habits become a major obstacle. Many people unknowingly consume ingredients that activate their immune system every single day. These are not dangerous in the dramatic sense. They won't send you to the ER. But they keep your body in a low-grade state of defense. And when your body is defending, it's not repairing. One of the most effective strategies for lowering inflammation and restoring gut integrity is called strategic removal. It means identifying and temporarily removing specific foods and substances known to irritate the gut lining or trigger immune responses. Some of the most common include refined sugar, artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame, gluten, especially from modern wheat, industrial seed oils such as soybean, corn, and canola oil, alcohol, and heavily processed foods. This isn't about creating fear around food. It's about creating space. Space for your body to breathe, to restore, to balance itself. When you remove common irritants, even for just a few weeks, you give your gut lining a chance to rebuild. You allow your immune system to recalibrate, and most importantly, you begin to listen to your body without the noise of inflammation clouding the signals. What's fascinating is how fast the body responds. For many, symptoms that felt mysterious or chronic begin to soften or disappear altogether. Less bloating, more energy, clearer skin, better mood, fewer headaches, deeper sleep. And these changes often happen without adding a single supplement, just the power of removal. Now, some people wonder, do I have to do this forever? The answer is no. The purpose of strategic removal is not lifelong restriction, but discovery. You learn how your body reacts without these common irritants. After a period of rest, you can begin to reintroduce certain foods one at a time with awareness. Some you may tolerate well. Others you might realize are not worth the discomfort they cause. This process builds body literacy, a deep understanding of what supports your system and what hinders it. One word of caution. Many products today carry labels like natural, healthy, or whole grain, but still contain additives that disrupt your gut. Learn to read ingredient lists. A granola bar with 6 different kinds of sugar and hydrogenated oils is not doing your body any favors, no matter what the packaging claims. Become curious. Not obsessive, just curious. That mindset alone can change your relationship with food. Also, don't underestimate the emotional side of this journey. Food is more than fuel. It's culture, memory, connection. Letting go of certain habits may feel uncomfortable at first. That's okay. You're not just changing what you eat. You're changing how you relate to yourself. You're moving from unconscious consumption to intentional nourishment. And that shift is powerful. You don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Maybe you reduce sugar for a week, or replace your cooking oil with a healthier alternative. Each step builds momentum. Each choice is a message to your body. I'm on your side. I'm paying attention. I care. Remember, your body isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for a break, a chance to reset. And sometimes, the greatest breakthroughs happen not when we push harder, but when we pause and let the body do what it was designed to do: heal. What comes next will build on this foundation, offering not just what to remove, but what to add with intention. Ignoring this next insight might not just slow down your healing. It could cause new imbalances to surface, especially if you begin reintroducing foods or habits too soon or in the wrong way. Let's avoid that together. Once you remove what harms, the next natural question becomes, what do you add to help your body truly heal? And here lies one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools available to you: your microbiome. This vast ecosystem of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms living primarily in your gut holds the key to many aspects of your physical, mental, and even emotional health. But here's the catch. It's not just about having these microbes, it's about feeding them well. Your microbiome is dynamic. It responds quickly to your environment, your sleep patterns, your stress levels, and especially to what you eat. Every meal you consume is either nourishing your beneficial bacteria or feeding the ones that throw your system out of balance. And this balance, or imbalance, determines so much of how you feel each day. So how do we strengthen this inner world? One of the best-kept secrets in the world of natural health is a class of foods called fermented foods. These are foods that have undergone natural fermentation by bacteria or yeast, resulting in rich flavors, preserved nutrients, and most importantly, living microorganisms that support your gut health directly. Foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, yogurt with live cultures, miso, tempeh, and kombucha can help reintroduce beneficial bacteria to your digestive tract. But it's not just about dropping a spoonful of sauerkraut on your plate and calling it a day. The timing, quantity, and pairing with other foods matter more than most people realize. For example, consuming fermented foods with fiber-rich meals enhances their effect. That's because fiber acts as a prebiotic, a kind of food for your probiotics. This synergy allows the bacteria to thrive and multiply, creating a stronger, more diverse microbiome. And diversity is the goal. The more types of beneficial bacteria you host, the better your body can regulate inflammation, produce essential vitamins, support metabolism, and even stabilize your mood. But there's an important nuance here. Not all fermented foods on store shelves are beneficial. Many are pasteurized, which kills the live cultures. Others are packed with added sugars, preservatives, or artificial flavors that cancel out the benefits. That's why reading labels is essential. Look for words like raw, unpasteurized, and contains live cultures. It's also important to introduce these foods gradually. If your gut has been out of balance for a long time, suddenly adding a high dose of probiotics can cause discomfort, gas, bloating, or changes in digestion. That's not necessarily a bad sign. It may mean your body is adjusting. But going slow allows you to observe your body's signals without overwhelming it. One approach is to start with a small spoonful of sauerkraut or a few sips of kombucha once a day, then gradually increase. Pairing this with a high-fiber diet from whole vegetables, legumes, nuts, and seeds helps create a nurturing environment for the microbes to flourish. And here's where it gets even more exciting. The benefits of restoring your microbiome go beyond digestion. People often report better sleep, more stable moods, fewer sugar cravings, improved skin, and even more energy throughout the day. These changes are not coincidences. They are signs that your body is returning to balance, from the inside out. But what about probiotic supplements? They can be useful in specific situations, especially after antibiotics or during high stress. But food-based probiotics are more complex and often better tolerated long-term. They also come with the added benefit of enzymes and nutrients formed during fermentation. At this point, you might be wondering which fermented food is the best. The truth is, there is no one-size-fits-all. What matters most is consistency and diversity. Try different options, rotate between them. Find what feels good for your body and fits into your lifestyle. And remember, this isn't about perfection. If you eat a less-than-ideal meal, don't punish yourself. Just make the next bite count. The goal is to create a rhythm where your gut is supported daily, not just occasionally. What you're about to discover next is the final and most powerful step in this journey, a way to unlock the full potential of everything you've learned so far. If missed or done incorrectly, it can reduce or even reverse much of the progress you've made. That's why it's crucial to pay close attention and apply it with care. Let's make sure you end this journey strong and supported. There's something deeply empowering about understanding how your body works. Over the past few steps, we've removed what harms, nourished what heals, and learned to support the systems that keep you thriving. But now, it's time to talk about precision. Because no matter how good your intentions are, how you prepare, consume, and combine your foods can make all the difference between transformation and frustration. This is where most people unknowingly get stuck. They buy the right ingredients, eat the right foods, but don't see the results they hoped for. The missing piece? Method, timing, synergy. Let's start with one of the most powerful ingredients in the natural health world, fermented turmeric. Turmeric, on its own, is already celebrated for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. But its main compound, curcumin, is notoriously hard for the body to absorb. That means you could be taking turmeric regularly and still receiving only a fraction of its benefits. Fermenting turmeric changes that. Through fermentation, turmeric becomes more bioavailable, which means your body can absorb and use its active compounds much more efficiently. When combined with a pinch of black pepper, which contains piperine, the absorption increases even further. The result? A natural anti-inflammatory support that reaches your cells and tissues instead of being flushed out. But here's the key. Not all fermented turmeric is created equal. Many store-bought versions are pasteurized, heavily sweetened, or combined with synthetic additives. The best results come from either making your own, with guidance, or sourcing it from reputable producers who prioritize traditional methods and purity. When should you take it? Timing matters. Taking fermented turmeric on an empty stomach in the morning can support digestion, reduce joint stiffness, and prepare your body for the day. Others may find better results taking it with a meal that includes healthy fats, like avocado or olive oil, since turmeric is fat-soluble and absorbs better with a little oil. But let's go deeper. If you truly want to unlock your body's healing capacity, combine this approach with mindful eating. That means sitting down for meals, chewing thoroughly, avoiding distractions, and giving your nervous system the signal that it's safe to digest. This might sound simple, even unimportant, but chronic stress and rushed meals activate your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, which suppresses digestion. You can eat the best food in the world, but if your body is in a state of tension, it won't digest or absorb properly. Now, remember the bonus I promised at the beginning? Here it is. Lemon peel. Not the juice, the peel. It's one of the most underrated sources of natural support for your liver, digestion, and metabolism. Rich in D-limonene, antioxidants, and essential oils, lemon peel helps your liver detoxify more efficiently, supports bile production, and even helps balance blood sugar. To use it properly, choose organic lemons, wash them well, and grate a bit of the peel over your meals, into smoothies, or mix it with herbal teas. A small amount goes a long way. You're not only adding flavor, but creating a synergy with the other healing foods you've now introduced. This simple habit can enhance the effects of fermented foods, reduce bloating, and support fat digestion. Together, fermented turmeric and lemon peel create a duo that addresses two core systems: inflammation and detoxification. They don't replace a healthy lifestyle, they elevate it. The real secret here is that natural healing isn't about doing one thing perfectly. It's about layering the right actions in the right order, with intention. When you understand the why behind each choice, your relationship with your body changes. You're no longer guessing, you're listening and responding. And this is the moment where everything you've learned comes together. You now know how to clear the path, feed your inner ecosystem, restore communication within your body, and apply ancient wisdom with modern understanding. What you choose to do with this knowledge is up to you. But one thing is clear: ignoring these final details won't just slow your progress. It could reverse some of the hard-earned benefits you've gained. Precision matters, and your body deserves that level of care. If this message resonated with you, let it be a beginning. Share it, practice it, live it. And remember, the most powerful connection you can make in midlife isn't just with a supplement or routine, it's with yourself. That connection, once rebuilt, changes everything.